To animate the fifth race of the weekend, here now are the single-seaters from before 1966, some of the most essential in the history of racing. All seems ready for the start. The driver of the Brabham BT11 remains bareheaded. It's quite simply Dayton Duncan, qualified on the first line. He just won the preceding race and forgot his helmet in the Lotus 16. Lapse of memory now repaired, things are getting back to normal. And once again, Duncan the Devil will be among the leaders. In the lead is the Frenchman Flavien Marseille, already victorious in the sports car section. This time he's driving a Lotus 21 from 1962.